If you could go back in time and give your younger self some tips and tricks, what would you tell them? In this video, that's what we're going to do. If I could go back in time, there are 4 things I would tell my younger self 25 years ago if I could. Now, 25 years ago, I was in university. I remember being so excited in my first year. My closest friends and I all decided to go to the same school, and we actually carpooled together for 4 years, and we had a lot of fun. Now, when I graduated, my wife and I got married shortly afterwards, and truthfully, we weren't really financially preparing for our future. We were just enjoying the moment we were in. We were eating out 3, 4, well, maybe 5, 6 times a week. We were going out to the movies and hanging out with friends, and it was a good moment. We had a lot of fun. And honestly, if you're in that life space, I think it's okay to enjoy it because you're only young once. But here's the catch. You're only young once and you don't get this time back. So while I was enjoying the moment, some things were happening in my life. Number 1, my student loans were continuing to grow because of interest. Our physical purchases were increasing, and we were vacationing because we had all of this extra disposable income. And I'll tell you what wasn't happening. We weren't laying a foundation for our retirement or even the beginnings of a retirement plan for our family. And look, maybe you're in or near that same life stage, and honestly, enjoy it. But don't make the same mistakes I did. Here's what I wish someone would have told me when I first graduated. Number 1, tackle your student debt. Now, this is kind of embarrassing to admit, but I think part of the reason why we went out and ate out and prioritized having fun was that it was easier to do that than it was to face the reality of our growing student debt load. It was almost like an escapism. And the sad thing was that when we finally decided to tackle it, we were able to pay it off in just a few years, but only after paying way too much interest. So if I could, I would tell my younger self, tackle that student debt as fast as you can. I'd also tell my younger self, open a tax-free savings account and contribute to it monthly. Now, if you're in a higher tax bracket and or you don't have the TFSA room for additional contributions, and even depending on your financial profile, it might also be beneficial to open up an RRSP as well. Now, on a side note, if your employer offers a matching group RRSP or a group TFSA, your employer contributions count towards your contribution room. So if you're not careful, you could end up over-contributing and get one of those letters from the CRA that nobody wants. And I would also add that whatever you contribute, don't take it out. Don't treat your TFSA like a bank account, which is kind of, the mistake or the trap that I fell into when I finally opened it up. I would put money in and then I would take money out because I needed it for this or that. And there's a reason why you shouldn't do that. The reason why is because every year you are given additional contribution room. For 2025, that's $7,000. However, when you make a withdrawal, you do not get that room back until January 1 of the following year. If you put money back in, it will count towards your yearly contribution limit. And if you go over it, you will incur a 1% penalty of the amount over your limit every month. And CRA may not even notify you for many, 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 many months that you've actually gone over. If you think you're going to need funds for a purchase within the next year, it's actually better just to put that money in a high-interest savings account at your bank and invest what you don't need to take out. And this is really the advice that I wanted to give myself. Treat your tax-free savings account as an investment account. The purpose of a TFSA is not to routinely take money out of it because you want to go on a vacation or you just really want to eat out. It's to leave money in there for the long haul. The younger you start, the longer time horizon you have. This is the kind of account where you can afford to be aggressive in the early years. And the benefit is that potentially all of your earnings will grow tax-free. So when you do withdraw those funds, you will more than likely pay no tax. Now, maybe you've caught on, but I'm using words like potentially and more than likely because while there are many tax-free investment options, make sure you know what you're invested in because even though tax-free is in the name, not all investments are tax-free in a TFSA. So make sure you talk to your advisor about that, because nobody wants to be surprised by owing tax on their tax-free account. Lastly, I would tell my younger self, make saving and investing 20% the norm in your budget. Now you might say 20%, that's hard, and it is. You could start at 5% or 10% and work your way up to 20, but either way, the truth is it can be difficult. They say it can take a few weeks up to about a few months to form a habit, and I know that's not easy, and I also know it's hard to form and keep healthy habits, but this habit is essential to your future financial well-being. If you make saving and investing 20% of your monthly budget the norm, it will actually be easier for you to live the kind of life you envisioned 20, 30 years from now. But you have to build that habit. I heard a quote a long time ago, and it said, "You'll never change your life until you change something you do regularly." The secret to financial success, and probably success in plenty of other areas of your life as well, is often found in applying consistency in the small things. Consistent saving and investing, if you start early enough, will reap powerful rewards. So if I could tell the younger version of me what I know today, I would tell them the following, and I hope this helps you. Number one, tackle your debt. Number two, start saving to a TFSA, and again, depending on your income, tax bracket, and financial goals, perhaps even an RRSP as well. Number three, treat your TFSA as a long-term investment account if you can. And lastly, if you can, start saving and investing 20% and keep that habit. Now, if this helped you, or if you think this video can help someone you know, please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, happy investing.